njalo.
Asavela sengjalo ngoyilo muhle kubumbana kwensimbi yesithupha lomhla ekuseni ngoLwesine kusho kona ke kudla kwethu ibreakfast yokucala elisuku lemcwa kakhulu kunayo yonke lungelele Kusile breakfast show. It is a very good morning to you and yours. Siyakwamukela eluhlelweni. How are you Mfumeni?
I'm great. I'm well. I'm going to December, so every day in December siphilile noma ngabe kunjani.
Yeah.
December vibes, yeah. Good morning, Babugeli Sanuvesela. Thank you for joining us this morning. Sisamba ukuthi naniphilile emakhaya. Siyabonga ukuthi nikhethe kuvuka nathi lo mhla ekuseni. Kancane siyasonzela eminyakeni wa 2024 and siyathemba ukuthi ama resolutions ngabe sisawende emngoni yakho ukuthi lokho kadzeni.
Sisabukena ingcwala mfowethu. Sikubona konke lokunye sisabukena ingcwala. Ingcwala icalile vele esukini la idolo. Cishe nje ngolo kumgcoka konke siyakumisa nyalo. Mthandazo lomkhulu lona lo.
Umkhosi lomkhulu elive lo. Yeah. Kwamele siye khona engcwaleni emngweni embukeli sithemba ukuthi uphilile lo mhla ekuseni it's the 14th of December 2023 selancane ukuthi singene eminyakeni lomusha wa 2024 lo mhla ehlelweni sibuke tona tindzaba tetempilo litiko tempilo letfulo umbiko lophelele olucwaningo lokubuka simo seligciwane HIV lapha eveni lelatiwa ngepopulation based HIV impact assessment phecelezi SHIMS-3. SHIMS-3 is a multi-country project funded by the US Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, to conduct a national HIV-focused survey that describes the status of the HIV epidemic. The survey also measures important national achievements such as the UN 95-95-95 targets. Lombiko ke we SHIMS-3 kubeka uveta ukuthi ilive leSwatini likhonile kunciphisa izinga lebantfu labatfolakala neligciwane HIV njalo ngeminyaka ngalokuyingcenye ekhulwini 1%. Locwaningo lokuqala lwendiwa ngeminyaka wa 2011 kanti lwesibili lwendiwa ngeminyaka wa 2016 no 2017 lwesithathu lwendiwe ngeminyaka wa 2021. We will be joined by a research officer from the Ministry of Health Trevor Sithole atosichazela kabanti nje ngale report SHIMS-3 sibuya kakhulu nje i-HIV prevalence from bantfu labaneminyaka lesuka ku-15 iye ku-49 background kanye ne-objectives ayo nje le report sabe sinayo ngafa 7.
Stapinze sijoyine ngilabaqhamuka lapha eTaiwan Technical Mission. The project manager yakhona Mr. Baron Wang. He is indeed the Technical and Vocational Skills Certification Enhancement Project under the Taiwan Technical Mission. He will tell us about the Skills Certification Project and its significance. Utabangekho yedwa ke utabahamba na Ernest Similano, who is the Director of the Directorate of Industrial and Vocational Training. He will also tell us about lolo hlangothi lolo njengoba ke kuma projects la amemene la sebenta kanye kanye kuthuthukisa nje sive semaswati kumcwa kakhulu lungelele njengoba sikhuluma yona indzaba ukuthi sibhekene nensaya youth unemployment and they are working with a lot of youth, but not just ekuthenini banikete amathuba emsebenzi, they are capacitating them ekuthenini batisebenze ngaleyo ndlela ke nabo batakhona kwakhela labanye amathuba emsebenzi. We really want to delve into that conversation and unpack it more with Baron Wang naye Ernest Simelane.
Yeah.
6:30.
Njalo mbukele, so do stay with us without thola lama interviews lawo lamabili kepha kumanje asibuke nje nathi dihloko lethamba imbili kuma phephandzaba ethu. Asicela sibuke i-Times of Eswatini sibuke lethamba embili. Asikilete uleti hamba embili nasibuka tinza about the COVID-19. Nurses demand answers from the Ministry of Health. Disgruntled nurses want meeting and they say all frontline workers were exposed and they deserve compensation. Eswatini says PS's response shows that they are not treated equally. More on page 2. Kuletinye lethamba embili, little ingwala begins dithombeke leto delibutho lise lutsitsini. Kuletinye lethamba embili, PM all is well with Tinkhundla system, but kanti kuletinye letihamba embili, 10 residents can close noisy liquor outlets. Kulenye lehamba embili, complaints against Inyathi Maloma not new. Ngokusho kwa Facebook.
Temidlalo Times of Eswatini kungilesine ekseni, its award snap that has saddened ball coach following the biggest football tourney's return, which is about to get the still no best coach award category in Ingonyama Cup. But we do see other categories lakona lapa which involve player of the tournament, top goal scorer, best goalkeeper, referee team of the tournament, Best Pro, Pinzaka Media Prize category, Lena Best Traditional Media, Best Digital Media, as well as Best Broadcast Media. Kanzaka Gulenyele Hamba Mbili Ikapot Masocha Pesishongwe for Wesleyans, and this is a story that speaks to the winds of change which are blowing at struggling Manzini Wanderers following reports of a looming shake-up on the technical bench. On the South African front, Lodge is back for Orlando Pirates. That full story is found on page 44. Birds Gwake close to South Africa move, a chance for greener pastures for Yenage Gwake Dino. Those are the leading sports headlines, Times of Eswatini.
Alright, nasibuka Eswatini Observer, leti hamba imbili lomhla hope in HIV fight. Country has surpassed second, third UN AIDS 95 indicators. Results show positive impact of hard work. Ngokusho Director Dr. Okelo. And it's that time of the year. Little Ingwala started on a high note with throngs of Emachaha from the various royal residences. Kuletinye Tamba Mbili bring competition commission. Ngokusho kwa Facebook, and also government has committed to assist the Look Commission. Kuletinye Tamba Mbili police raids report unruly cops.
Kutemidlalo Ikapot joins Wanderers. He comes along with Percy Shongwe. Coach Nyanga Krookslope also stays. First assignment against Mbabane Highlanders. Former Monani Pirates coach Ikapot Masocha has indeed agreed to join Hub Giants Manzini Wanderers after the two parties held successful negotiations as Wingelai Dolo. We will not take chances. Kushoge Big Three, the country's Big Three teams coaches have vowed not to undermine their opponents in the Ingonyama Cup. 100,000 Emalangeni for assaulting officials at Ingonyama Cup. Ingonyama Cup still making most of the headlines Temidlalo since the week began, just to show the magnitude of this cup.
Headlines on the Eswatini Daily News. Lomuhla, Facebook agrees to desist from further attacks against Inyathi, and hailstorm victims plead for donations to rebuild their homes. As the Prime Minister has implored Eswatini to defend, promote Tinkhundla system of government.
Temidlalo Eswatini Daily News this Thursday morning. Ikapot Masocha for struggling Wanderers. Former Monani Pirates head coach Ikapot Masocha is now set to take over at ailing Manzini Wanderers together with physical trainer Percy Shongwe ahead of Mbabane Highlanders clash on Saturday. Letawabage Semavuso Sports Center at swift changes in EFA standing committees. A full story is found on page 23, making the second headline. The last leading headline, Nurkovic itching for Carling Black Label Cup. Page 20, you get the full story of on the Eswatini Daily News.
Tambanjalo, Dema Pepanzaba, it's 9 minutes after 6. Let's take a break. Spend it in Zabata Swati.
Umsakazo wetithombe iEswatini TV utibophelele kuhlonipha nekulandzela umgomo wetekusakata loweluswe libandla letekuchumana eveni.
Ngephansi kwalomgomo sitimisele kusakata tindzaba letiya ngaleso sikhatsi tindzaba letide emagama lacosheme letitsembekile letitsintsa tonke tinhlangothi naletisebaleni
kusukela kutepolitiki, tetemphilo, tekulima, tetinkantolo, netemhlaba wonke jikelele. Siniletsela tindzaba njengoba tinjalo ngaleso sikhathi letenteka ngaso.
Kanzi kulo msakato siphindze sikulethele lonke luhlobo lwetemidlalo kusuka emidlalweni welibhola letinyawo kuye emidlalweni ledlalelwa ematafuleni kanye naleto letiqhamuka ngaphandle kwakuleli.
Leti tindzaba lowutiletselwa ngumsakato wetitfombe iEswatini TV.
Asimze sinimukele nati tindzaba. Sekusonzele ukuthi umkhosi wencwala umnyaka wa 2023 usale uqala. Libutho lacwebetelako lasesigodlweni engabezweni selibhekise emabombo esigodlweni eLutsitsini lapho khona kubheka ukuthi uqale lo mkhosi.
Lacwebetela kwakhambisa inshisekelo kanye nemidlandla lekusho kona ukuthi sekavele akulungele kucala umkhosi wencwala. Lokhu kubonakele ngesikhathi libutho lasengabezweni lishuca libange esigodlweni eLutsitsini lapho libhekeke ukuthi kucale khona umkhosi. Kusho kona-ke ukuthi sesifikile leso sikhathi ebuthweni lengatsha leluthango lembali kanye nawo lacwebetelako. Ebutheni beminyaka libutho liyaye litilungiselele kude kuthi uma kufika lesi sikhathi libe selivele lime ngemumo. Lona mkhosi uqala esigodlweni eLutsitsini lapho ticheme temabutho tiyaye tiholwe khona yingwenyama yemaswati nendlovukazi Mhlekazi. Kanti-ke lo mkhosi ubese uchubekelana kuletinye tigodlo letifaka ekhathi ingabezweni kanye naletinye letisetifundeni letinye telive. Etindzabeni kubika Pholile Maziya esigodlweni kaLozitha.
Uhulumende utawuchamuka netindlela letikhonsako eciniseni tinkhundla kanye nekuletsa lusito esiveni. Lokuvakele ngandunankulu Russell Dlamini ngesikhathi yavula ngalokusemthethweni umhlangano wemakhethwa kaHoho kanye nakaManzini. Umhlangano banjelwe ehhotela le-The George kaManzini.
Nankulu kuthatheke okuqobo tinduna tentinkhundla nemalunga eParliament ukuthi abe nesibinzi asasebentela live etinkhundleni tawo ngekwehlukana.
Ukuze sithuthukise funa sime sibinzi sikhulume lokhu liqiniso. Kungumgomo wahulumende lomusha kwekuthi sithi qinise tinkhundla. Sithi qinise nakakuthi rebrand abekunene. Ngilalelela isession yekugcina kwekuthi akubonakali kwekuthi sithi beka embili noma timqoka tinkhundla eveni noma khulumende ngendlela lesitiphatha ngayo. Imali le yatinkhundleni incane emahhovisi ayadzilika tindzala mbamba nje.
Lenye indzaba letsinzile endvunankulu indzaba yomcoka bekusithi tinkhundla tisebente ngesikhathi sanamuhla.
Lenye indlela yokuthi sitiqinise tinkhundla ngilokwethi stimodernize. Sitende tinkhundla tibe silu. Live bekunenali emuva liya phambili. Nangabe sifuna ukuthi tinkhundla kusasa datiwe tibe ngiloku lesikwakha konyalo sitiqhenye ngato tinkhundla kufuna kwekuthi nekuqabanga kwethu kube kwangilamuhla.
Kuba beteke kwemgomo lolawula kona kusebenta kwetinkhundla ngibona kulinyeva lelikhulu kulelitiko nasemaswatini onkana. Umbiko uhlanganiswe ngeLinkedIn kule ngesehotela le-The George kaManzini.
Bafunzi labalishumi nesithupha lababuya enyuvesi yakuleli UNESCO kanye ne-Eswatini Christian Medical University sabaniketwe ithuba lokufundza kabanti ngetenhlalakahle kanye nekunakekela sive lesinetifo letahlukene ngaphansi kwenhlangano yetemphilo e-Georgetown University. Liphinda-ndvunankhulu Thulidladla libekadze limelele nguMasilvia Dlamini emsebentini lapho khona labafunzi bebetfula imibiko yekufundza kwabo e-Hilton Garden Inn embabane libonge letinhlangothi ngekwesekela luhlangothi lwabosonhlalakahle.
Njengoba tichubeka nekukhula tinombolo tebantfu labahlukubetwako kuleli, lihhovisi leliphinda-ndvunankhulu lithi kumcoka kwekutsi tinhlangothi letahlukene tibambisane kubuka kutsi kungaliwa kanjani nekuhlukubeteka.
Bafunzi bahlangene babhalela umaphepha kuleto tinhlangothi letihlukahlukene lesitawufunza nathi silihhovisi letenhlalakahle kubo sithathe loko labakushoko labakutfolile lokuchamuka eziveni kule research labayendako kulawo maphepha labawabhalile nathi sikuthathe sikubisele ema-ofisini sikubuke kokuthi singakuhlanganisa kanjani kuze kuthi ekugcineni kukhone kusitakala lamaswati ladzingile.
Lobuke emahhovisi aka-Georgetown kuleli Samson Hawumba uthi labafunzi baceceshwe etinhlangothini letahlukene lokufaka ekhatsi kufundza kabanti ngeligciwane le-HIV kanye nesifo i-AIDS kanye namdlavuza kanti-ke lokunye labakufundzile ngiko kuthi engabe bangalo kanjani nesifo i-TB.
They are going out as more competent people to practice in the real world than if they had not been attached to us.
Bafunzi bona bathi bayalithokotela lolwati labalitfolile njengobe batawukhona kulusebenzisa uma sebesemisebentini leyahlukene.
And I've learned a lot. We've worked with certain clients, particularly cervical cancer and HIV, and we have learned a lot there.
I really want to thank John about that and also to know more about HIV and AIDS and also about TB.
Inyuvesi yakuleli UNESCO kanye ne-Christian Medical University kanye nayo i-Georgetown bethembisile kwekuthi batawuchubeka besekelela abafunzi basaya emisebentini. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV nginginelisiwe Ndlangamandla nginavuma inkosi indzingisa embabane.
Imvula yetemthetho nemtsetfosisekelo umfanenkosi Simelane ithi balitiko batawetama ukuthi sebenta tinkinga letikhona emnyango wekucondzisa timilo kute usebente ngalokubhekekile. Indvuna bekhulumana iyovusela inhloko-hhovisi yalo mnyango embabane ngalesithathu.
Awubambise lapha ubambe khona nazi lezingeke lifunakala ngaleta sayidama ukuthi bika kuhulumende usaba bese kuyabonakala umsebenzi we-correctional imihlane ngamalanga lamathi vele mkhulu sibili kufanele thina kufaneleswa kakhulu nawo wonke ama-department. Uyakhumbula-ke nokuthi-ke leli department lenkulu kakhulu noma libambisene namasosha libambisene namaphoyisa kusetshenziswa kanye ngabe imisebenzi yakangane ngabe imisebenzi bakuthanyela ligazi hambe njani evene kunjani ukuthi akuloko ukuthi sitoqinisa lokho kakhulu na kunene nako-ke nokuthi ayosiyeva inhlalo namba sitindlu setabatinzana lamanye kude kunjani njani konke lokuthi asitokubuka sitokuvisisa songenanathi kuyawubona ukuthi ngosami kahle ekuhambe kwendeke.
Imvana ilitiko letemphilo Mduduzi Mathebula ithi ilitiko litawenda tonke taba tekubuka indlela yokuthi singabambiswa njani isibhedlela se-Luke Commission njengoba sesinciphise indlela lesisebenta ngayo ngenxa yekweswelakala kwetimali. Imvana kuvetele okungesikhathi ivakashele lesibhedlela kuyawubuka ukuthi sisebenta kanjani.
Sibhedlela se-Luke Commission sike saveta ngaphambilini kwekuthi sesinebulukhuni bekusita emaswati njengoba sekude kahle kwesekelwa ngetimali kanti kusukela sivuliwe sisita sive lesingetulu kwa 200,000 ngeminyaka.
Nema challenges siwavile la khona la ekhaya silitiko singuhulumende kumcoka to come up with a plan yekuzama ukuthi simlekelele Luke Commission. Siyati ukuthi we have ama-fiscal challenges nema-competing priorities singuhulumende kepha nakumcoka ukuthi sihlale phansi sibukisane ngoba lokhu kucomplementa lokhu lesikwendako nathi silitiko senda into yinye.
Umcondzisi walesibhedlela Echo Vanderwall wenganywe buhlungu nakakhuluma ngebulukhuni labahlangabetana nabo ngenxa yekweswela timali.
We will be undergoing a further downscaling. We'll send you more details around that in the next couple of days. But we really ask that you continue in the spirit of our nation in the promotion of peace.
Neliswa Mondlane losebenza kulesibhedlela uthi usitakele kakhulu ngekuba ingcenye yaso.
Babese sebangithatha ke bangifaka kuleli qembu la ICT. Lapho ke babese bangitraina in-house. Kukhona nami bengikwathi lokuncanyana but kunengivelela bangitraina kiko.
Sibhedlela iLook Commission iqashe eMaswati labalelwa emakhulwini lasikhombisa kanti sisebenza kakhulu ngetindlela tebuchwephesha njengoba setinele uhlelo lokuniketa imithi ngetindlela tebuciko i-telemedicine. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Nelson Wendla ngamandla nginavuma inkosi inzinisa esitfokotho.
Imvuna ilitiko temphilo umduduzi Mathebula sivakashele esibhedlela sakaHlathi kubuka inhlelo tekusebenza kwalesibhedlela. Kulolu hambo imvuna itfola umbiko ukuthi itisetulo inombolo tabomake lababeleka kulesibhedlela. Imvuna ithile litiko litawubuka indlela yokuthi itisebente tinhlangothi tekubelekisa letisengakasebenzi kulenye imitfolamphilo lekhona kulesifundza.
Ngekusho kwelihhovisi lelibuke kusebenta kwesibhedlela sahulumende kaHlathi balinganiselwa ku-250 bomake lababeleka kulesibhedlela njalo ngenyanga. Indvuna yelitiko letempilo mduduzi Mathebula itsile tinombolo tikhomba kuba setulu. Indvuna iveta tindlela litiko letempilo lelitawutisebentisa kwehlisa letinombolo.
Kunema-maternity ward lamanye lakhiwe kulamanye ema-health center lokhanza kusase ngingasebenzi. Kumcoka ukuthi sihambe siyohlola ukuthi kushodani yini lesingayenda so that isitonciphisa le pressure la kulezibhedlela letinkulu ngokuthi sayasebenza lama-health center sebayakhona kubelekela dudane bomake nalabahlala khona kungadzingi ukuthi baze bahambe esigaba lesitse baya esibhedlela lesikhulu. Umhlaba wonke uyakhala ngekuhamba kwetisebenti ikakhulu tabo tibhedlela tiyofuna emadlelo lahlate kuletindzaba. Lesingakwenda ke nale kufanele ukuthi sikwende kuzama kulungisa lama working conditions nje la khona la ekhaya nekubancenga ke ukuthi bangahambi phela bashiye ibhlobo dabo tigula kude lotatinaka la ekhaya.
Umbiko welihhovisi lelibuke kusebenta kwalesibhedlela ukhomba kutsi tingetulu kwama-80 tikhala tekusebenta letikhona kulesibhedlela kufake ekhatsi bodokotela, emanesi, bomatron kubala kuletinye. Indvuna itsembisile kutsi litiko litawutivala letikhala letikhona. Lobika-ke tindzabeni teSwatini TV nguthando kuhle Mdluli ngikaHlathi.
Live laseSwatini selikhonile kunciphisa lizinga lebantu labatfolakala neligciwane HIV njalo ngeminyaka lefika kulo ingcenye ekhulwini 1%. Lokhu kuvetwe ngumcondzisi wetemphilo Dr. Velephi Okello ngesikhathi yethula umbiko lophelele welicwaningo lokubuka isimo seligciwane HIV lapha eveni lelatiwa ngeShims.
Emhlanganweni nebetindzaba emahhovisini elitiko letempilo ngalesithatfu umcondzisi wetempilo Dr. Velephi Okello wetfule umbiko lophelele welicwaningo lesithatfu lekulandzelela tinhlelo telive teligciwane HIV lowatiwa ngele-Shims 3 lohlanganiswe ngekubanjiswa inhlangano yakamhlaba lebuke tifo i-Centers for Disease Control CDC ligatsha lalapha eveni.
Ucwaningo loku lutshengisile kakhulu ukuthi live lisebentile. Live lakangwane lisebenze kakhulu etinhlelweni taka-HIV and AIDS and litshengisile lolucwaningo ukuthi lo 95 lesolo sikhuluma ngaye vele live likhonile kufika kuye lehlile linani lebantu labatfola i-HIV eveni. Yebo basekhona basebaningi liyasho nje ukuthi lelinani liku 0.62%. Losho ukuthi bangephasi kwa 1%, shothi munye ekhulwini bangephasi kwa munye ekhulwini bantu labatfola i-HIV ngalo licwaningo naluchubeka luhlola.
Umcwaningo wetifo ka-CDC Dr. Kristen West uthi ngalombiko emava yakhona kubona avale futhi tikhebesi etindzabeni tekuncoba ligciwane HIV.
Because Shims having been implemented for 3 surveys, this information, the quality of the data is is very good, and it's something that represents to me, part of the truth of the HIV program, but it also pointing to some of the gaps and where there still needs to be progress made.
Lokunye lokucukethwe ngulombiko ukuthi nanoma taba delivered incomeka tekuncoba sifo i-AIDS, indzaba yalesifo iseinsaye yalenkhulu yeveni, bomake solo basemathubeni lasetulu ekutfola ligciwane i-HIV uma bacatsaniswa nabo babe. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Samkelsiwe Khoza nginasimuva Shongwe eMbabane.
Inhlangano yaka Amical seyinikelele ngemishini yekuthunga kubafundzi bakasebenta lebebenta tifundvo tekuthunga kude bayisebentise batiphilise. Labafundzi banikwe le mishini ngelisuku lwalabafundzi lokuphothula lebelibanjelwe ekolishi le-Ekhotha eMbabane ngalesibili.
Imfundo yabadzala lekuyisebenta National Institute soloke iyachubeka nekucinisekisa ukuthi kude loselela emuva kutemfundo kufaka ekhatsi temakhono. Bafundzi lebabophothula ngulabo lebebathunga labangamashumi nemfica. Kanti umphathi wakasebenta Themba Nkosimamba akhuluma kulo msebenzi uthi bayethemba ukuthi batawutiphilisa ngaleli khono lekuthunga lesebalitholile labafundzi.
Kufundisa kwethu sigwenda kuhambisane nekuthi labantu labafundzako tidzingo tabo titsini netikhatsi labanato tekufundza titsini.
Kanti-ke lokhulumele baka Amical lebaphela bafundzi imishini yekuthunga kube ngumeya welidolobha laseMbabane Vusi Tembe.
Imathuba emisebenzi asancipha ngakho-ke nasekukhona umuntu osatawukhona kudiphilisa ngetandla takhe siyajabula kakhulu singumasipala.
Lo mcimbi-ke bewungenelwe nalilunga lephalamende lenkhundla yeMbabane East Welcome Dlamini.
Na uvile nje basebanayo imishini yekuthunga lebana over 10 wemishini yekuthunga. So le mishini abangayithatha bayende i-collateral noma bayende lo 10% ufuna labo RDF ukuze usiphathe access le mali.
Labafundzi-ke basisa bayalibona likusasa labo ngale bakufundzile.
Sitiva nje simgcoka kakhulu nemishini labasiphe yona baka Amical. Sithemba sitawuphuma sambe sosebenza emakhaya.
Sithandze nekutibongela kubaka Amical lelithuba labasinikete lona.
Kwenzile sifundzele okuningi kakhulu. Eqinisweni lonke nje mina ngangingadi lutho ngekuthunga. Bengingadi lutho ngisho bengadi nje kufaka umtiye enyalithini, but namuhla ongibona ngigcokile ngimuhle.
Nebaka Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund nabo-ke bebakhona kutobakhutsata ngokusebenzisa sona-ke lesikhwama. Enizabeni ngengiyani Msibi ngiseMbabane.
Litiko letemphilo libambe umhlangano sikola wetisebenti tehlangothi lotemafa kubakhumbuta ngemitsetfo lengamele temafa nekutsengwa kwemithi namaphilisi. Umgcinimafa lomkhulu lelitiko Zakhele Nxumalo uthi lelitiko lisebenta nelithulusi lekulandzelela yonke imphahla yetemphilo letsengwe kulelitiko kucinisekisa ukuthi ifika ngesikhathi emitfolamphilo.
Kulandzela ukuthi libandla letindvuna tembuso likhiphe tincomo letifake ekhatsi ukuthi tisebenti teluhlangothi lwetemafa etiko letemphilo kunesidzingo sekuthi tincwatsiswe tikhunjutwe ngemitsetfo lengamele kutsenga nekuphatfwa kwempahla yahulumende lokufaka ekhatsi imithi nemaphilisi kunciphe letinkinga letikhona tekweselakala kwemithi nemaphilisi emitfolamphilo yelive. Lolu hlangothi lubese lubamba umhlangano ngalesithatfu kukhumbuta letisebenti ngaloko lokubhekekile basachuba umsebenzi wabo.
Sito capacitator njengoba ke sathi ukuthi hulumende so ketimali takhe kunemitsetfo letsite like for example njena kune PFM Act of 2017 kune Procurement Act of 2011 elefanele sibese sesakhumbutana lokuthi solo sisahamba ngako yini nekubuka ukuthi si-finance silibambisa njani litiko. So kusebenta kwethu sibuka nalisasuswa li-order kuhanjwe kuphume i-invoice sibone ukuthi kuyadeliver yini nakudeliver lokho kuyagcineka yini nakuphuma lokuphumako hleze imithi iyafika yini lapho fanele leyo mithi ibese seyafinyelela khona.
Leli tiko ngaphansi kwalolu hlangothi lwetemafa lisebenta lithulusi pheceleti expenditure tracking tool lokulandzelela yonke impahla leli tiko kufaka ekhatsi imithi nemaphilisi sukela ithengwa kude kuyofika imitfolamphilo yelive. Etindzabeni te-Eswatini TV kubika Samkelisiwe Khoza nginasimuva Shongwe ezulwini.
Libandla lelingamele tekuchumana ye-Eswatini Communications Commission licicutele tisebentitalo kutsi tibhadale umthelo wamabonakudze. Libandla lelibutsa umthelo wamabonakudze lisitfokotele lesinyatselo latsi sinyatselo lesihle lakhutsatana letinye tinkampani kutsi tende njalo.
Ngekuqinisekisa ukuthi umthetho uyalandzelwa, libandla lelingamele tekuchumana kuleli ligcugcutele tisebenti ngabomcoka bekubhadala umthelo wamabonakudze. Tisebenti kanatoko tibonakele titimbandzakanya tenta njalo. Lokukhulumela umsakato we-Eswatini TV nomcebo Malinga uthi umsakato utivulile tandla ukuthi tinkampani tikumeme lo msakato ukuthi uteke utokuqinisekisa ukuthi umthelo uyabhadalwa netisebenti ticondzisise ukuthi ubhadalwelani.
Ngithi ke kokhumbuta nje babukele ukuthi nala i-period futhi ikurenewa wona lama TV license. Uma uyibhadala leyo TV license njengoba sathi ukuthi ubhadala le signal loyitfolako mawuhleli ekhaya noma usecingweni noma ukuphi ku laptop yakho o leyo computer yakho lohleti kuyo. Lawo ma-gadgets lawo anawo lokuthi ane-charge yawo.
Umphathi wetekuchumana khona-ke ka-SCCOM futhi gama khumalo ukuthi kubhadala i-TV license kwenta kutsi lo msakato uqhubeke nekukhicita tinhlelo letidlekako.
Nathi-ke silangekhathi sifuna ukuba ngilabo laba-complyako ngokuthi sibhadale umthelo we-television. I think kubhadala umthelo we-television kithi sibuka ukuthi kuphindze kube lusito kakhulu esiveni la khona kutawutholakala tinhlelo letingito letifunekako letakhiwe lakhaya. Uyati-ke ukuthi thina singumchumanisi sifuna letinhlelo vele letibuya Eswatini TV tibe ngileto letinyenti letinganga 70%.
Kungabhadalike umthelo wamabonakudze kungenda ukuthi umuntu atikhanze amise timpilapho enkantolo. Umthelo wamabonakudze kuleli ungu-180 wemalangeni ngeminyaka noma-ke 50 wemalangeni ngenyanga. Etindzabeni ngengiyani Msibi nginasimuva Shongwe eMbabane.
Titokufela letinengi tiyesaba kugcina timali emabhange ngekwesaba ema-bank charges. Lobuke bucala babangqovomshini emaphoyiseni senior superintendent Nicholas Jele uthi loku bakutfole basaphenya kulahleka kwetimali tetitokufela.
Njengoba tinhlangano titawube tabelana timali nekudla njengoba sokuphela umnyaka, labanye-ke bagcina mafa batikhanza balinyalelwe timali tetitokufela ngekubhanga endlini lite sekukhulunywe emahlandla ukuthi abasebentise emabhange naletinye tindlela tekubhanga. Senior Superintendent Nicholas Jele wena bangale bakutholile lokwenta bahuthu letinyawo betitokufela ekubhangeni ngetindlela letingona tinconotwa futhi letiphephile.
Solomon siyachubeka singumbutho wembube kukhutsata sive kakhulu kathi inhlangano tetokufela ukuthi imali atitibeke etindzaweni letifanele naletiphephile lesingathi ngemabhange. Laba bekunene kumbe laba kwesabako besabelenzini nje uma bengakhuluma swati lesijulile ekuthenini kunema-bank charges le emabhange. Kanti bekunene lokubalulekile ngokuthi le mali yonke ibe ngilephephile kunekuthi kulahleke yona. Kungcono lokusumane sibhadala lawo ma-bank charges ngoba phela libhange vele ibhizinisi nakuyibhizinisi nje yenta imali ngokuthi ilethe ema-financial services esiveni. Bekunene lokufaka ekhathi kona lokugcineka kahle kwaleti mali. Singacela sisinxuse sive semaswati ukuthi asichubekeni bekunene nyalo nje umnyaka sowuphelile sokuyawucala futhi iJanuary futhi kutawucala phasi tona leti tokufela tichubeke tiseve imali. Siyacela vele siyanxusa ukuthi asambeni semabhange siyawudibeka khona leti mali kuze kutoba ngiletiphephile.
Sikhulumise emabhange lahlukene lekatse cishe onke vele kubhanga timali tetitokufela kumahala nemali yema-charges ayibi khona nawufaka imali noma-ke nawubhanga leyo mali. Ema-charges abakhona naseyikhishwa ekupheleni kweminyaka kushiyana ngaleyo mali ukuthi ngumalini. Etindzabeni ngengiyani Msibi ngamanzini.
Kutemidlalo nobuhledla mini lo dlala umdlalo wegaluvano neminyaka lengu-32 sowuhleli endzabeni yesi-719 kuma Rolex World Rankings lakhishwe inhlangano lengamele kudlalisa umdlalo wegaluva emhlabeni ngeminyaka wa-2023. Dlamini uthi kuthatha isigaba sokuba ngumdali kulomnyaka losedulu kuyidlalile inzima ukuthi angakhoni ukudimisela kulomnyaka.
Dlamini lodlala umdlalo wegaluva loneminyaka engu-32 akabi neminyaka lomuhle eminyakeni losetulu wa-2023 nakubukwa ema-Rolex World Rankings lakhishwe inhlangano lengamele kudlalisa umdlalo wegaluva emhlabeni ngemsombuluko. Le mphumela-ke ithi yena nobuhle usenzaweni yesi-719 kubadlali labangetulu kwa-3,000 labadlala wona-ke umdlalo wegaluva esigabeni lesisetulu pheceleti i-Professional Women Golfers. Nakuqala lo mnyaka enyangeni yeNdlovulenkulu Dlamini bekasenzaweni yesi-465. Kwehla kuwo-ke ema-rankings emhlabeni kubangelwe ukuthi akakhoni kungenela imichuzelwano leminyenti. Akhuluma nalo msakazo Dlamini uchaza ukuthi kulomnyaka wa-2023 ubese usatha isigaba sokuba ngumake. Kulomnyaka wa-2023 Dlamini ungenelele efaka ekhathi i-Belgian Ladies Open, Investec Women's Open yaseNingizimu Afrika, ne-Joburg Ladies Open kanye-ke ne-Magical Kenya Ladies Open, lokusho ukuthi ungenele imichuzelwano lemine nje kuphela nakuqhathaniswa neminyaka wanga-2022 lapho khona angenela imichuzelwano leli-11. Uthembisile-ke ukuthi utawubuya ngamandla ngeminyaka lotako wa-2024 aphindze katimisele akhona kuphindze enyuke kuwo-ke ema-World Rolex Rankings. Etindzabeni temidlalo ngingugiyani Msibi kaNombiko uhlanganiswe nguFabrice Msonera eMbabane.
Nalitoyo temidlalo sithi phesa lapho tindzaba tetfu tesiswati hlala nathi ungayinzawo sitakshene semaselitulo.
Welcome back to the program. We have Mr. Bayron Wang from the Taiwan Technical and Vocational Skills Certification Enhancement Project, which is under the Taiwan Technical Mission. Very good morning, Mr. Bayron. How are you this morning?
Oh, good morning to you and the viewers at home, and thank you for having me this morning. I'm Baron Wang, the project manager for that very long project, Technical and Vocational Skills Certification Enhancement Project.
Yeah, tell us about the significance of that very long project. And I understand it is not just very long in terms of its phrasing, but it's also very significant in terms of the work that it does and its aspirations and what it seeks to do for Eswatini. Tell us about the significance of this project.
Okay, before I go to the structure of this project, I think I need to say something about why this project is so important.
Right.
Okay, you know, the both government of Eswatini and that of Taiwan, they realize that the importance of TVET, because when we talk about like technical
vocational.
Yes, vocational and also labor force. It's needed to facilitate the national economy development. Not to mention the impact of TVET can improve the employment rates. So that's why the two governments, they decided to launch this project in July 2021 with the duration of 4 years.
Okay.
And this project cooperates with the Ministry of Education and Training and the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, with the main objective being to increase certified skilled personnel in key occupation areas, such as electrical engineering, motor repairs, and the hospitality and tourism, as well as the machinery. So this project can accommodate the Kingdom of Eswatini's development needs.
I'm looking at the visuals on the TV. You can look with me there. I believe this is some of the work that you do under these projects. And I think what I like about it is, you know, as the country has been confronted by a high unemployment rate, I think this will allow our fellow Eswatini not just, you know, to get jobs, but to start businesses which can further employ other people, Baron. I think maybe you spoke about how, you know, at the end they really do get certified, and I think that legitimizes the work that they've done, and, you know, we can take them seriously in the labor market as you work with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, and I think, you know, that is a very smart move. Tell me about, you know, the skill certification enhancement project.
Okay, actually, the objective for this project is to increase certified skilled personnel.
Right.
Yeah, so when we talk about the certified skilled personnel, actually we are talking about the people who have trade test certification.
Okay.
So the first step of this project is that we work with DIBT together, and we invite the experts from industry, also the instructors from training institutions, come together to develop unit standards and the qualifications. So those qualifications can align with the SADC QF, SADC qualification framework.
Okay.
And the advantage of the alignment is that it can improve the mobility of the skilled personnel in SADC area. Okay. So I think later the director of DIBT, they can explain more about this benefit. Okay. So let me focus on the project first. So once we have the qualifications, the DIBT will revise the trade testing standards, questions, as well as the apprenticeship training guidelines based on the qualifications. So when we have the qualifications, standards, and also questions, the project will also improve the trade testing facilities and venues based on those updated qualification standards. Now we have qualifications and the equipment. The most critical part is people. We want to capacitate those experts in Taiwan so they can fully use the equipment based on our newly developed qualifications. So what are we going to do? Actually, we sent 2 Eswatini experts here, came to Taiwan to have a 6 weeks long intensive training. We also invite Taiwan experts come here to conduct workshop so we can benefit Eswatini experts here as many as we can. Now, once we have the qualifications, hardware, equipment, also the experts here, the last step actually is that we would like to increase the capacity of DIBT to have more trade tests. So the project also supports DIBT to expand their trade testing capacity. And For example, for DIVT, if it's only for government budget, for DIVT they can have like 1,000 people to have trade tests for many trades, 1,000. However, there is a huge backlog outside there. They want to have trade tests.
Okay.
So the project will also sponsor for them to increase the capacity. The last one is that we think since we have already invested so much in equipment, also the experts, we also encourage the Ministry of Education mainly focus on ACOS and the VOC team to have upskilling courses. So the people from industry or anyone who wants to learn new skills, they can come to ACOS and VOC team during Saturdays, learning new
that's
skills.
Quite interesting, and my next question was going to speak on that. I think it's very great that you have co-opted the Eswatini College of Technology as well as VOC team. I think those two centers are perfect for what you want to do. But allowing people that are not in those two institutions to maybe go there even on weekends to acquire some of these skills and knowledge, I think that's a great one. But how far-reaching is it in terms of our demographic? I think I've seen some visuals of high school kids, learning about some of these, projects. Does it really get there? Does it really get to even someone at high school level?
Okay, we also work with other NGOs because we also we hope that we can have more high school girls. They can know the beauty of engineering.
There we go.
Yeah. Yes. So actually, every year we invite like several high school girls come to ACOS and the VOC team to have an exposure for ICT and also for electrical engineering.
Why girls? Maybe I'm sorry to cut you because I'm looking at the visuals. It's girls only, and you've been saying girls. Why just women?
Because Taiwan Technical Mission also focusing on the gender equity issues.
Okay.
And for our stereotype thinking is that engineering is mostly for men.
Male-dominated, yeah.
Yes. So we would like to encourage female to break these old thinkings.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes what limits you is your thought. So we hope we can invite high school girls so they can know, okay, ICT or electrical engineering. Yeah. Yes, it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
So after I finish my high school, I can pursue maybe STEM.
Right,
yeah,
right.
science, technology,
yes. Mathematics. It's quite interesting because this is a field that is indeed being dominated by women now in the world, and they're doing quite well, exceptionally well, if I may say. So it's quite great to see Eswatini, taking up this space as well. Maybe before I let you go, before I welcome Mr. Simelane,
yes,
just maybe a highlight of some of the achievements over the past 4 years.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, the project has already conducted for 2 years. So it's not really long.
Right.
But in these 2 years, we have already developed 8 qualifications.
Wow.
Okay. And there are 4 in hospitality and tourism. So we have food preparation, make example. And for engineering, we have heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Why I mention these 2 first? Because before, for the Kingdom of Eswatini, we don't have trade tests for these 2 trades. But now, not only the qualification, we also have trade tests for these 2. Talking about the qualification, now it comes to the equipment. Actually, in these 2 years, we have already renovated the kitchens in ACOS. Okay. So hospitality and the tourism department in ACOS, now they can have like practical there, of course, and they can also conduct trade testing in the future. And not to be honest, sorry, in fact, we just finished one group of food preparation upscaling course in November. Next year, January, we will have another group.
So that's part of the future plans. Maybe a highlight, maybe a brief one of your future plans.
Oh, okay. This project will be ended in 2025.
Okay.
But for next year, we are going to review another 4 qualifications, like solar PV installation. I think this one is quite important because it's about
climate change.
Yes, and also it's good for our electricity.
Yeah.
Okay. The other 2 is about fitting and auto electrical. This also relates to the people's well-being. What happened to your car if we don't have adequate technicians here? So we would also like to revise or even have the new qualifications here. Then we can upgrade the equipment and also do the capacity building. It's our plan next year.
Mr. Baron, thank you so much for your time. We don't have a lot of time, so we want to welcome Mr. Simelane after the break. He's the director of the Directorate of Industrial and Vocational Training. Pardon me. After the break.
Let me tell you about my crush. Ngenzane inhliziyo yami embi kwakho njengekudala.
Nkondlo yesiswati.
It is 3 in the afternoon. We are back in the living.
For men are so kind towards creation more than they even were to their own creator.
I am the greatest of this generation. They'll be calling me the girl who made poetry look cool, yo. Cool.
What do you think the best part of traveling is? Is it the food, or is it the conversation, or is it the sights and sound? If you're ready to explore, we are ready to show you the best way how. We'll give you access to the best luxury getaway sites in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and of course show you vacation sites that suit your budget, because you do not need a lot of money to actually have a great time. Join us on the next adventure on Buhle Bethu, only on Eswatini TV.
Welcome back to the program. We just spoke on how Eswatini needs urgently to increase certified skilled personnel in key occupation categories such as electrical, mechanical, engineering, auto repair machinery, as well as tourism and hospitality, in a bid to accommodate the Kingdom of Eswatini's national development needs. But this project that we're speaking to with Mr. Baron Wang has another partner on the side, which is very important, the Directorate of the... You tell me about it, because you hear Mr. Smilane. I was thinking about it when I was with Mr. Baron Wang. He's answering me and he's saying, nah, Mr. Smilane is going to answer this part of the question. And it's quite critical what you provide after they've gone through, you know, the program with which is provided by Mr. Baron Wang. Kusichazela kabantu ukuthi nina ningena kanjani kulolu hlangothi ngoba siyeva ukuthi nifike nifake ekhathi examination abo apprenticeship.
Thank you very much. Greetings to all the viewers at home. Yeah, it is true indeed. We collaborate with this project. As you know, that the project is implemented by the Minister of Education and Training,
right,
and the Minister of Labour and Social Security. Then the primary importance is that we are trying to achieve a systems improvement. As you know, we've been doing these things for a long time now. You'll find that the standards that we use in trade testing and the apprenticeship training guides are now older. And as you know that the systems in industry evolves every time. So we are taking advantage of this project, the review of the standards and the development of occupational standards and qualifications, to sort of also review the trade test standards, so that whatever we certified people on is now relevant to what the industry needs. We are also taking this opportunity to also revise and review the apprenticeship training guides, so that whatever the apprenticeship training follow in the companies is also very relevant to what is required nowadays.
I think this gives us an opportunity to maybe make a case in point. I think you're speaking on some of the archaic trade standards, if you like. I want us to get into that. We are seeing the advent right now of the African Continental Free Trade Area, and I think it's going to be very critical to what you are doing regarding trade. Let's talk about it. Mr. Baron spoke on you really make sure that you invite, you know, other developers which look into the SADC trade standards, that we are in line with other SADC countries. Here's the AFCFTA. It's here now. Eswatini is about to trade in the AFCFTA, and I think APA was just speaking on awarding people that are getting into, you know, these developments. Talk to me about some of these developments that are new in terms of trade standards that you want to make sure Emaswati are capacitated in as we enter into this agreement.
Yes, the other attitude of this project is to align with what other countries are doing. As we develop the occupational standards and qualifications for the trades that the project is supporting, we make sure that we are registering them in the Eswatini qualifications framework.
Okay.
The qualifications framework is aligned with the SATA qualifications framework.
Oh, great.
So when we do these things, even in the development process, you'll find that we benchmark which is what available in the region. Also, we use the experts to sort of inform the standards. But what is critical in the output is that once these are done and we start qualifying people on these standards, the relevance will be there in the region. Because nowadays, when a person is qualified through trade testing, if he goes to South Africa, they will have to inquire with us, what is this person able to do? But with this new attitude and this new initiative, when a person is qualified, people will exactly know what this person is able to
do.
Yeah,
that's great.
So this initiative is aligning with the region perfectly.
Yeah.
So if a person wants to go and work in Zambia, they are not going to be discriminated because they will already be known what they are able to do.
They can go to Zambia or Nigeria or South
Yes,
Africa and trade, high quality trade, and just enter the industry and be competitive.
Internationally aligned.
Awesome. Mr. Simelane, thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, but that's Mr. Ernest Simelane, who is the director of the Directorate of Industry and Training in this vocational program. Let's go for a net break. Stop. We have to end it.
Do you remember the spinning thing? This is us. This picture represents what we did. We were there when coronavirus wreaked havoc in our population. Together with other stakeholders, we formed the first line, controlling the spread of the unknown and unseen enemy of the people. Anxious ourselves, we collected dead bodies countrywide. At the time when no one wanted to come near dead bodies of loved ones, we did care for our fellow citizens. Thank you, the people of Eswatini and teams of first responders.
Nene bekunene kusetandleni tesive kuthi imimango ingagcini kukampunzi edla emini. Sive sakangwane nebantu labakhethe kuhlala eSwatini abaphile ngekukhululeka nekuthi kubethe lo nyathelo lilungelo lalabanye egameni lekufuna lilungelo lakhe. Sive asikhumbule ukuthi emaphoyisa bomake nabobabe labatinikele kwenta siqiniseko ukuthi wonke umuntu lonempahla yakhe ingacekelwa phansi ngulomunye. Wonke umuntu akahlale ngekuthula nangaphandle kokwesaba tindwe letingatiwa. Emaphoyisa ngekulandzela nekushiqilela umthetho athi into yemuntu ayibe ngeyakhe umuntu. Sive asijinge siwabambise siphinde siwasekele emaphoyisa emsebentini wawo. Kude emalungelo aso sive osomabhizinisi kanye nebantu labasebentako anganyatheleki. Khona-ke imimango itawukwakha nemakhaya akhulise bantwana ngaso sandla lesiya emlonyeni. Emaphoyisa naso sive abasebente ngebudlelwane nangekubambisana kulwa nebucala netingoti temgwaqo.
Ngosasiphindze sinomukele ehlelweni isizawuthola simo semgwaqo from Constable Ntombenhle Fakutse Mtolo asikwamukele ehlelweni ngabe simo semgwaqo sikanjani nomhla ekuseni.
Imigwaqo elivela kangwane sesihlolile emsakadi naye umlaleli imigwaqo iyahambeka besingathanza nje ukubikela yena umbukeli kulolu suku lanamuhla kungaba ngiko nje ukuthi umgwaqo losuka khona etshaneni uye emhlume kusukela nakubumbana insimbi yesithathu enthambama kuya kunakubumbana insimbi yesihlanu kutabe kunetichumane letikabe tikhona lapho kutabe kublastwa ngalamanye amagama kunemayini nje lesemkhathini wasetshaneni nasemhlume nakublastwa ke lamatshe abesesekawela la ekhasi emgwaqweni bese kudinga imotolo ukuthi itime itawumiswa ke nakublastwa time for isikhathi lesinganga 15 minutes kuze ukuthi kususwe lamatshe ephinde futhi sivule kutawentiwa lokho ngetigaba sithi nje umlaleli akakwati lokho kulolu suku lwanamuhla. Kanti-ke lokunye lesingathanza kukwatisa yena umlaleli kungaba ngiyo nje indzaba yetinkomo emigwaqweni kulamalanga kwatise phela ukuthi sesisondzela kubo bokhisimisi imigwaco nasi singumbutho wembuve nesive sisile kwekuthi sonke sive lesisebenzisako sibe ngilephephile kuntaba khona-ke ubuthwa kwato tinkomo emgwaqweni lokusale khona itolo sithi nje sive senkosi asente isiqiniseko kwekuthi imfuyo yabo bayayiqheshisa emgwaqweni nangabe-ke ungasayiboni imfuyo yakho ungaya khona emaphoyiseni ladute nawe kuyawubuta ukuthi ngabe akusi ayikathatha yini ngiwo emaphoyisa. Kanti-ke lo umgwaco lesiwuhlolile umgwaco losuka khona kutebetebe uye khona kumehlwabovu lo mgwaco loyo solo uyakhiwa nasota uqala mehlwabovu kuleli kona lelicijile lapho solo alikafakwa litiyela umgwaco solo unako lokuba lukhethe nje bashayeli abanakisise nakhona lapho ngale kwaloko msakadi naye umbukeli imigwaco iyahambeka ngaphandle nje kwaloku lesesikushito kungaba kufisela yena umbukeli kusuku loluhle naloluphephile basetawusebenzisa yona imigwaco elivela Kangwane.
Ndolo simakhulu lokho losipha kona lomhla ekuseni sethembe ukuthi-ke eMaswati avile nalawo-ke labuke khona emigwacweni atawunaka tinkomo asakhona-ke emisebenzini lomhla ekuseni bonkosi asibahlwethu makethe sitawubuya sibuke tindzaba tesingisi.
We at Eswatini Television Authority are committed to observing the Eswatini Communication Commission's Broadcasting Code of Conduct.
Under the code, we are committed to broadcast news that is current, free from hate speech, accurate, balanced, and fair.
From politics to business, health, agriculture, courts, and global news, we bring you the latest updates as they happen, when they happen.
We cover all the sporting codes from the football pitch to the chessboards.
This is Eswatini TV News.
Welcome back to the program. This is the English news. The Ingwala ceremony is about to commence. Lakobetelako from Engabezweni royal residents have joined the rest of the regiment for the beginning of the Little Ingwala at Lutsisini royal residence.
Laqwebetelako walked from Engabezweni rural residence to Lutsisini rural residence with excitement and the expression of joy towards the commencement of the Ingwala ceremony. Their expressions were a sign that they are really looking forward to the beginning of the Liti Ingwala. The time for Eswatini's most beautiful and huge cultural event has come. All regiments are expected to gear up and get ready as they have prepared for this event during the year. This ceremony has existed in Eswatini for hundreds of years. The ceremony starts at Lutsitini royal residence with the presence of His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen Mother. After a few days of its commencement, His Majesty then proceeds to other royal residences to continue with the ceremony. On the news, Polile Mazia at Lozita Palace.
Government will formulate policies and legislation that will compel every sector to ensure that service delivery is improved in the kingdom through the Ministry of Tinkhundla. This was said by the Prime Minister Russell Dlamini when officially opening an induction workshop for Manzini and Hoho politicians.
The 2 days induction workshop for Hoho and Manzini region politicians that is currently underway at the George was officially opened by the Prime Minister Russell Dlamini. The Prime Minister says the Maswati should not be timid when talking about the Tinkhundla system of government.
Ukuze sithuthukise funa simesibinzi sikhulume lokuliqiniso. Kungumgomo kahulumende lomusha kwekuthi sithi iqinise Tinkhundla. Sithi iqinise nangakuthi rebrand abekunene. Ngilalele la isession yekugcina kwekuthi akubonakali kwekuthi sitibeka embili noma timqoka Tinkhundla eveni noma khulumende ngendlela lesitiphatha ngayo. Imali le yaTinkhundleni incane emahhovisi ayadzilika tindzala mbambamba nje.
The Premier says for Tinkhundla to resonate well with the current generation, there is a need to modernize the system.
Lenye indlela yokuthi sitiqinise Tinkhundla ngilokwethi sitimodernize. Sitende Tinkhundla tibe silu. Live bekunenali emuva liya phambili. Nangabe sifuna ukuthi Tinkhundla kusasa datiwe tibe ngiloku lesikwakha konyalo sitiqhenye ngato Tinkhundla kufuna ukuthi nekuqabanga kwethu kube kwangilamuhla.
The meeting agreed that it is the responsibility of all civil servants to understand Section 80, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Kingdom of Eswatini. For Eswatini TV News, I am LinkedIn Kule in Manzini.
16 students from the University of Eswatini and the Eswatini Christian Medical University have been trained on the clinical social work practice by Georgetown University. Now speaking during the social workers seminar, which was at Hilton Garden Inn in Mbabane, the Deputy Prime Minister, who was represented by Masilia Dlamini, has commended these institutions for supporting the field of social work.
With the increase in socio-economic issues, including gender-based violence, the Deputy Prime Minister, Thuli Dladla, says social work is needed as it promotes social cohesion. Marcelia Dlamini delivers the Deputy Prime Minister's message during the social workers seminar.
The sharing of the best practices in each institution brings to the table enables the country to produce high-caliber social workers who have the requisite experience and aptitude to better perform their jobs, thus improving service delivery much more efficiently and effectively. Discussing pertinent social issues that affect society at large, a case in point being gender-based violence, which continues to dominate local headlines. We are cognizant of all collaborative efforts to address the root causes of the scourge. GBV leaves victims traumatized and requiring the intervention by social workers to provide healing and counseling.
Georgetown University's resident director, Samson Hawumba, says the students were trained in different fields.
They are going out as more competent people to practice in the real world than if they had not been attached to us.
The students say with the information they acquired, they will be able to promote social change while striving to improve the lives of Emaswati.
I've learned a lot. We've worked with certain clients, particularly cervical cancer and HIV, and we have learned a lot there.
I really want to thank John about that, and also to know more about HIV and AIDS, and also about TB.
Isabel Zwane, the Vice-Chancellor at the Eswatini Christian Medical University, Nzima Sugu, who represented the University of Eswatini, both said collaboration is important to attain maximum results in the education sector. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa Mbabane.
And the Minister of Justice, Princess Simelane, says his ministry will try by all means to address issues within the correctional facility in order to ensure that it delivers to its maximum. He was speaking when visiting the headquarters of His Majesty's Correctional Services on Wednesday.
The Minister of Justice, Prince Simelane, visited the headquarters of His Majesty's Correctional Services on Wednesday. The minister says They want to improve the working relationship within the country's forces. He says they've had issues within the correctional facility and they will try to address them so that it operates to its maximum. He further praises that the service is led by a female, which speaks to equality in leadership positions as per the United Nations. Reporting, I am Kian MCB, visuals provided by His Majesty's Correctional Services.
The Minister for Health, Mduduzi Matsebula, has promised to find solutions to the challenges faced by the Luke Commission, which stem from lack of funding. Now, the Minister was speaking during his courtesy visit to the Commission on Wednesday.
The minister says he is impressed with the high-performance technology that is used by the Luke Commission, which makes service delivery faster. He says he has been briefed about the challenges faced by the Commission and will meet with different stakeholders to find solutions so that eMaswati can continue to get help.
Nama-challenges siwavile lakhona la ekhaya. Silitiko, singurhulumende kumcoka to come up with a plan yekuzama ukuthi simlekelele Luke Commission. Siyathi ukuthi we have ama-fiscal challenges, nema-competing priorities singurhulumende, kepha nakumcoka ukuthi sihlale phansi sibukisane ngoba lokhu kucomplementa lokhu lesikwendako naso silitiko.
The executive director, Echo Vanderwall, was overcome by emotions whilst narrating how in the past 7 months the Commission has struggled to make ends meet.
We will be undergoing a further downscaling. We'll send you more details around that in the next couple of days. But we really ask that you continue in the spirit of our nation in the promotion of peace.
Neliswa Mondlane, an employee of the Commission, says having gainful employment has helped him shape his future. He says he first had contact with the hospital after he was bitten by a snake, which led him to being admitted for about 3 months.
ICT. Lapho-ke babese bangitraina in-house, kukhona nami bengikwathi okuncanyana. The
Luke Commission employs about 700 eMaswati. Although the Commission has scaled down on its services due to lack of finances, it continues to offer high-quality services using telemedicine. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Sitwokotwo.
The Minister of Health, Mduduzi Matsebula, also toured Hlatikulu Government Hospital with the purpose of having an overview and understanding of the hospital's operations. And during the tour, the minister was made aware of the high rate of maternity deliveries at the hospital. The minister has said it is important for the ministry to ensure that newly built maternity units and other health centers start working as soon as possible.
According to the Administrator's Office for the Hlatikulu Government Hospital, the average monthly deliveries currently sits at 250 childbirths. The Minister of Health, Mduduzi Matsebula, says this rate of childbirths is high. Thus, it is vital to look into ways of easing the delivery pressure at the hospital.
Kunema maternity ward lamanye lakhiwe kulamanye ema-health center lokhanza kusase kungasebenzi kumcoka ukuthi sihambe siyohlola ukuthi kushodani yini lesingayenza so that sizonciphisa le pressure la kulezibhedlela letinkulu ngokuthi sayasebenza lama health center sebayakhona kubelekela dudane bomake nalala bahlala khona kungadzingi ukuthi baze bahambe esigaba lesitse baya esibhedlela lesikhulu. Umhlaba wonke uyakhala ngekuhamba kwetisebenti ikakhulu tabo tibhedlela tiyofuna emadlelo lanhlatelo kwenye tindzawo. Lesingakwenda-ke nale kufanele ukuthi sikwende kuzama kulungisa lama working conditions nje la khona la ekhaya nekubancenga-ke kokuthi bangahambi phela bashiye ibhlobo tabo tigula kude lotatinaka la ekhaya.
The report from the administrator's office also shows that the hospital has a shortage of over 80 healthcare workers. The minister has assured the management of the hospital that the vacant positions will be filled. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Thando Mdluli, Hlathi.
The Kingdom of Eswatini has recorded a decrease in the annual HIV incidence amongst individuals 15 years and older. This was said by the Director of Health Services, Dr. Velepi Okello, when releasing the full SHIMS 3 report.
The Ministry of Health, in partnership with its development partners, has released the full final report for the 2021 Eswatini Population-Based HIV Impact Assessment Survey, locally known as SHIMS 3. Speaking during a press meeting, the Director of Health Services, Dr. Velepi Okello, said the annual HIV incidence amongst individuals 15 years and older has decreased.
The results at that time showed that Eswatini had achieved the 395s. Furthermore, this report also showed that the incidence or the level of new infections has reduced. If you compare to the previous report of SHIMS, it has reduced and is below 1%, while previously it was above 1%, which translates to around 4,000 people who are infected every year.
Centers for Disease Control Eswatini epidemiologist Christine West said SHIMS reports are key to the fight against HIV and AIDS.
Because SHIMS having been implemented for 3 surveys, this information, the quality of the data is very good, and it's something that represents to me, part of the truth of the HIV program, but it also pointing to some of the gaps and where there still needs to be progress made.
The SHIMS 3 report also indicates that despite remarkable efforts made by the Kingdom of Eswatini in the fight against HIV and AIDS, HIV prevalence still remains high in women compared to men. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Suekoza with Simuva Shongwe, Babane.
The Ministry of Health has hosted a workshop for the Financial Department aimed at strengthening the health system. Senior accountant in the ministry, Zakhele Nxumalo, says the ministry is also working on the introduction of the procurement tracking tool. Here's a report.
As per the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini's resolution to strengthen the health system and the finance department of the Ministry of Health, the ministry has hosted a day workshop aimed at capacitating the department and tackling issues that hinders on the service delivery.
We are here to capacitate each other, to review the ways, the procedures. As we will recall that we have laws, we have regulations that we have to follow while we are transacting the businesses of the day. We are responsible. We have to issue an order. We have to receive the goods. We have to distribute the goods. So we have to see that everything is done, to the book, and every law is being followed.
The department, through the Ministry of Health, is also working on the expenditure tracking tool, which will aid and strengthen the financial reporting in the Ministry of Health and monitor payments. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgal Siwekoza with Simuva Shongwe, Esulwini.
The Eswatini Communications Commission has encouraged its employees to pay for their TV licenses. The TV license team applauded the initiative and asked other companies to do the same.
In order to ensure compliance and to lead by example, Eswatini has encouraged its employees to pay for their TV licenses. The employees showed their commitment as well and paid for their TV licenses. Nomcebo Malinga, the Senior Communications and Brand Manager at Eswatini TV, says Eswatini TV has opened its hands for companies to invite them to ensure that they conduct the same exercise.
Your TV license is very important to us as Eswatini TV because it sustains the organization. The organization wants to grow, have relevant content, premises that are going to be improved, and be able to buy you the most wonderful content that we know that Eswatini deserve. So such noble gestures as Eswatini has really shown today, we are humble.
Vusika Makumaro, the manager of broadcasting services at Eswatini, says paying for their TV license will ensure that Eswatini TV produces quality programs.
As a regulator, we want to encourage everyone to pay the TV license because as a regulator, we must make sure that even all broadcasters, they must comply. So as a regulator, we want to comply as well by paying the TV license. I think by paying this TV license would actually make sure that Eswatini TV produces the best programs or even buy locally produced programs from independent producers.
Failure to pay a TV license can land one in jail. The TV license is only 180 emalangeni per year or 15 emalangeni monthly. Reporting MKN Msibu with Smuva Shongwe in Babane.
And now on international news, Israel came under pressure on Wednesday from its allies over its war in Gaza, with key backer the United States criticizing its bombing in response to the October 7 attacks as indiscriminate. Joe Biden told a campaign event in Washington that Israel had most of the world supporting it after the Hamas attack, but they are starting to lose that support by the indiscriminate bombing that takes place. Biden said they also renewed calls for a two-state solution and said Israeli PM Netanyahu needs to replace his hardline government that opposes such a move.
As Israel continues its relentless attacks on the Gaza Strip, its main backer, the United States, seems to have changed its tone since the beginning of the war. Washington is still funding the offensive and blocking calls for a ceasefire at the UN. But on Tuesday, President Joe Biden warned Israel that it was losing international support due to its, quote, indiscriminate bombing of the enclave. In earlier remarks at a Hanukkah event, the president alluded to disagreements with the Israeli leader.
He has a picture on his desk of he and I when he was a young member of the Israeli service here. Foreign Service, and I was a 32-year-old senator, and I wrote on the top of it, Bibi, I love you, but I don't agree with the damn thing you had to say. It's about the same today.
Biden also renewed calls for a two-state solution and said Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu needed to replace his hardline government that opposes such a move. Netanyahu, meanwhile, conceded that he and Biden were in different minds about what would happen to Gaza after the war.
I will not allow Israel to repeat the mistake of Oslo. After the great sacrifice of our civilians and our soldiers, I will not allow the entry into Gaza of those who educate for terrorism, support terrorism and finance terrorism. Gaza will be neither Hamastan nor Fatastan.
On Tuesday, Israel continued airstrikes in the south of the Gaza Strip, like here in Khan Yunis. Residents complained there was no prior warning or calls to evacuate. Rafah, near the Egyptian border, was also hit. According to Gaza health officials, bombing in the area killed at least 24 people.
The ones who died are just women and children. They do not have missile launching capabilities and are not associated with any resistance. This is Rafah, that they claimed is safe. There is no safety here. Everyone is mocking us.
Meanwhile, Israeli forces continued their ground offensive in the Strip. The IDF said the bodies of 2 Israeli hostages were recovered on Tuesday, and 2 soldiers died in the operation to retrieve them.
The United Nations General Assembly overwhelmingly backed a call for a ceasefire in a war-torn Gaza on Tuesday. While the resolution was not legally binding, it was the strongest sign yet of eroding international support for Israel's actions. Now, 3/4 of the 193 member states voted in favor, and only 8 countries joined the United States and Israel in voting against.
It's a resounding call for peace in Gaza, echoing in the UN General Assembly. On Tuesday, delegates voted overwhelmingly in favor of an immediate ceasefire in the Strip, with 153 voting for, 23 abstaining and 10 against, including the United States, for the second time since vetoing a similar resolution in the Security Council.
Today was a historic day in terms of the powerful message that was sent from the General Assembly, and it is our collective duty to continue in this path until we see an end to this aggression against our people, to see this war stopping against our people.
In response to a Hamas attack on October 7th, which resulted in the death of 1,200 Israelis and the kidnapping of more than 200 others, Israel launched a total siege of the enclave. Its armed forces destroyed hospitals, homes and schools, displaced 80% of the 2.3 million Palestinians living in Gaza, and according to the Gaza Health Ministry, killed over 18,000 people, the majority of them women and children.
Right now, what we are seeing is an onslaught on civilians, the breakdown of humanitarian systems, and profound disrespect for both international law and international humanitarian law.
Unlike Security Council resolutions, General Assembly resolutions are not legally binding, but the Assembly's messages are important barometers of world opinion. Prior to Tuesday's vote, the Israeli ambassador accused the UN of ignoring the massacres committed by Hamas, calling the body a moral stain on humanity.
Time is running out for Gaza hostages, family members said as they continue to call on the Israeli government to bring their loved ones home. Now, during a week-long truce deal between Israel and Hamas late November, Hamas released 105 hostages in exchange for 240 Palestinian prisoners. More than 115 hostages remain in Gaza.
Time is running out. The message from families of hostages still held in Gaza, 68 days on, demanding action from their government and the international community to bring them home safely.
My cousin was kidnapped after seeing his mother being murdered, and then his dad was murdered only half an hour before at a different house.
Every morning when I wake up, I'm sending good morning to my kids, and every night when I go to sleep, I send good night to my kids. And there is one kid that does not answer for 68 days because she's in Gaza.
Under a week-long truce deal between Israel and Hamas last month, 105 hostages were released in exchange for 240 Palestinian prisoners. This freed Thai hostage recounts his experience as he was told he was about to be released.
A guard told me, "Palestine is good," and told me not to say anything. He forbade me from talking about it. "You should not speak of Palestine." He pointed to the guards and said, "You've never seen them." And I told him I hadn't seen anything.
Former Israeli President Reuven Rivlin visited families of victims in Jerusalem, calling for international support for the hostage situation, overshadowed by the death toll of Gazans and worsening humanitarian catastrophe.
The situation in which our hostages are being held is something that no other place in the world would tolerate. They would cry out to the heavens.
Over 115 hostages remain in Gaza.
Now for sports news, top golfer Nobuhle Dlamini has dropped to the 719th position in the latest Women Relay World Golf Rankings released on Monday by the World Golf Governing. Now the 32-year-old professional golfer drops to the above position, having been able to rank 464th in the world in March this year.
Top golfer Nobuhle Dlamini has dropped to 719th position In the latest Women Rolex World Golf Rankings released on Monday by the World Golf Governing Board, the 32-year-old professional golfer drops to the above position, having been able to rank 465th in the world rankings in March this year. Dlamini's calendar in 2023 had competitions such as the Belgian Ladies Open. Speaking to Eswatini TV Sports Desk, Dlamini acknowledged that dropping in rankings was due to having not been able to attend different competitions that have seen her in the past making headlines regionally and worldwide. In her response, Dlamini believes 2024 is set to be a better year. She is looking to be back to the cause full force and deliver to her much-loved supporters in the world. Some of the best achievement in the past that has seen her making headlines, including the 2018 Supersport Ladies Challenge and the Investec Royal Swazi, the 2019 Joburg Ladies Open, and Dimension Data Ladies Pro-Am, amongst others. Dlamini's West ranking was in 2017, when she was ranked 1,197th. For Eswatini TV Sports, for Bisum Sunera, Babane.
That marks the end of our English news. Let's look at the weather forecast and go for a net break. We'll return shortly.
This weekend, Eswatini, your official weekend party starter. Tune in for the best of entertainment. We're bringing you the hottest music videos and live studio interviews with your favorite celebrities. We're giving you a front row seat to the latest fashion trends as well as your weekend gig guide. Join us live on social media and call in to send your shout-outs. Be sure to catch our movie segment where we review and give updates on all latest movies. Catch This Weekend Eswatini every Friday at 5:30 p.m. live on Eswatini TV.
Hello everyone and welcome to the show. You know the vibes, it's the beat down. The time is 8 p.m. It's time for you to relax, sit back, relax, and enjoy the music videos that I got for you.
Moving no direction, like it's a calling. When alive in the middle of nowhere, shake the ground and burn the air. So yeah, yeah, you don't have to hold back for anything or anyone. Just own this.
Asimze silimukele sibakhulu ukuthi solona ihlatsene nathi lomhla ekseni besivethile ukuthi isitaba esikhulumisana nebelitiko letempilo labethule umbiko lophelele itolo welicwaningo lokubuka simo seligciwane iHIV lapha eveni lelatiwa ngepopulation based HIV impact assessment phecelezi i-SHIMS 3 report. I-SHIMS 3 is a multi-country project funded by the U.S. Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, IPEPFAR, who conducted a national HIV-focused survey that describes the status of the HIV epidemic. The survey measures important national achievements such as the UN 95 targets. Kanti lo mbiko uphinda uvetene ukuthi live leSwatini likhonile ukunciphisa lizinga lebantu labathola i-HIV njalo ngeminyaka ngalokuyingcenye ekhulini 1%. I'm joined by Trevor Stole losuka khona etiko letempilo longo research officer kanti sesithapheni sikhulumisane nacebisile Ncamphalala losuka ka ICAP nabo labasebenzisene nelitiko letempilo. Baba Sithole siyabonga sivusele lomhla ekseni kumbe nje kuniketa nje umbukelo isithombe sokuthi kahle kahle le report lena eyini SHIMS 3 eyini sakhumbula ukuthi SHIMS waqala ngeminyaka wa 2011 kwaphinze futhi kuba nelicwaningo lolunye nga 2016 na 2017 ke manje sichazele ukuthi kwendekani kahle kahle lubaleka kangakanani licwaningo lolu.
Siyabonga sivusele umbukelo emakhaya sivusele ngase studio. SHIMS 3 kahle kahle ulicwaningo lelendeka emakhaya singena kuma household kude sithole inombolo lesithi i representative of i population yaseSwatini. So lokwendakala kuleli cwaningo kuyi evaluation lebuka ukuthi kulomgwaco wabo 95 sihambe kanganani since silive kuma issues HIV sinalama interventions nema programs. So when we do lama interventions nema programs kuba nesikhathi ke every 5 years lo ukuthi bese siya checka lo ukuthi sikuphi in terms of i prevalence ne incidence, in terms of ukuthi bantu lama interventions bawasatha kanganani bakanganani esibhedlela babe iart bayisanganani then kubonakala nabo viral load suppression lokuthi okay nasekayithethe lamaphilisi ayamsebenzela yini. Manje objective lenkulu yalo SHIMS ngilokubuka le coverage yalama services even nekubuka ukuthi vele iuptake yalama services ikhona yini kubantu then ke sekunalama biomarkers ke le kakhuluma sabo incidents ukuthi ikuphi njengoba uchazile ukuthi from 2011 2016 then 2021 kuyabonakala ukuthi vele are we winning the battle. So le report ke yona ke iyakhomba lo ukuthi siku progress lenhle kakhulu as a country, which means our programs are working for us and our interventions are working for us.
I think nasabuka nje le progress ngifuna sibuka mhlambe lama top findings nje baba Sithole ale report. I think besi discuss nje with my colleague ukuthi kukhona la report ukuthi njalo ngeminyaka there's 4,000 new infections kepha le report iphindze ivete ukuthi yehlile imibiko nama new infections nga 1%. Kumbe nangathi sichazela ukuthi ingabe mhlambe nasikhuluma ngale decrease nje ya 1% sikhuluma ngemfolo enganani asiphindze sibuke ukuthi there's 4,000 new infections every year.
Yes, sikhuluma ngekuthi around lo 2011 they were higher than lo 4,000 lama new infections even ehlanga 2016 to 6,000. So if we are saying kunale decrease ya 1% sisho ukuthi ehlile nga 2,000 more, so lo aqhubeka nalokwehla, which means le as a country and nalabantu kusho bakhona kulalela lama lemilayeto libitiko letempilo lelikhokhako and now onke lama departments ahulumende ema ministries ahulumende, because when we talk of HIV si multi-sectoral baningi labantu lesibambisana nabo kufuna bete bo agriculture bete bo Ministry of Education like sike saba nenkinga ukuthi i-incidence was or i-prevalence was higher kuma girl child kumantombazana ethu. So between 2011 2016 and 2021 iyakhombisana le difference ukuthi ama interventions esiwafakile ayakhona ukusita the girl child ukuthi mhlambe le prevalence ingabi high and the incidence ingabi high amongst that population.
Yeah, so sabona nje indaba the prevalence. I think ngaba ukuthi usinikete nje sithombe, you know, from the ages 15 to 49. Nasibuka nje ukuthi vele le tinombolo tithini. Kumbe nasesibuka nje nasocathanisa nalemenye iminyaka lokuthi vele kahle kahle lama cases niyawubona yini lo mehluko kule age leyo.
Yes, umehluko munengakhulu, otherwise vele bekumele kulombiko lona nje hayi vele bekumele sishaye ama cricket kube ngikhisimosi sibhomise lo ukuthi live lithathe inyathelo leticatha, and it seems as if we are going the right direction. Ngobe na ukhuluma nga 1.6 ya 2016 yalo sikhuluma nga 0.62. It's a decline lenkulu kakhulu in issues of incidents. Though mhlambe ingeke ibonakale kakhulu ngala ku prevalence, because prevalence sibuka abantu labaqhubeka konekuphila, and with art now people are living a longer life than kadzeni ngekhathi iart ingekho. So imakhale kahle kakhulu ngule incidents lesikhombisako lokuthi okay lama new infections vele ehlile lokusho ukuthi mhlambe either bantu they are viral suppressed, bantu are using dual protection, which is also including a condom. We have PrEP, we pre-exposure prophylaxis, drugs which you can take before the activity. Then we have PEP, drugs which you can take even after the activity where you have been exposed.
Speaking of your PrEP, I think I read somewhere on this report ukuthi nende survey nakhona of people that have heard of your PrEP, of people that are taking a PrEP, nalabanye nje labathi abayati abazange sebaka bayibone. Kuma kusiniketa nje sithombe saleto tinombolo leto nokuthi nini nitfoleni vele as a Ministry of Health nanibuka ukuthi mangabe vele tithi letinombolo bamfa bayati yile nibone ukuthi kube ngema interventions kuzama educate us.
Okay, as much as we have quite a number of people abageva nge-PrEP, but we do have quite a number of people still abaku PrEP. Ku PrEP sibe nelicwaningo, sibe nalabo labaku-ring, sibe nalabo labaku art, lama drugs lesisebenzisa for art, some of the drugs. Then sibe nelicwaningo where besine cabotegravir la besijova khona abantu, si part of licwaningo lelikhona emhlabeni lelikhombisile lo ukuthi iPrEP iyasebenta, iyabasebentela abantu laba exposed, laba ku risk yekuthola iHIV. So after lo mbiko, it means we are going back to the drawing board to strategize ukuthi how do we build awareness ye-PrEP kubantu who deserve to take a PrEP.
So the survey ivete ukuthi bayayati noma abayati.
Okay, i-survey ikhomba lo ukuthi banengana laba singakeva nge-PrEP at the moment.
Okay, lesho ukuthi usanimela umsebenzi nilitiko ukuthi nifundzise sivu. Khuluma nje nge-ring ingabe yona isebenza kanjani? Uba letimvu letiningi ukuthi kunamaphilisi kunemjovo kune-ring futhi.
Yes, i-ring yona ifakwa la kulomlomo wesibeletho. At least yona ifakwa once, ihlale lapho. Then you live with it, le ring.
Okay. I think lokunye lokumgcoka nje sisasenza nje mhlambe indzaba desibeletho kule report indzaba yabo TB, cervical cancer kanye nalamanye nje ema chronic conditions ukuthi nakhona ngabe yini lenitfolile nisenda lolicwaningo.
Okay, lelicwaningo lethu mbukele emakhabe lingaka focus kakhulu kubo cervical cancer na kubo TB. But from lama results alelicwaningo siyakhona ku project ukuthi since kuna le viral suppression, number 2 le incidence iphansi, kusho ukuthi ema issues of cervical cancer atawehla, because cervical cancer is also highly associated with HIV and AIDS kumuntu. Even with TB, it manifested itself as an opportunistic infection. So with a nation which is virally suppressed, it means even issues la fana lawo atawukwehla amongst the population.
Okay. Also ngifundzile la kule report ukuthi bomake kubonakele kwangathi ngibo labathola kakhulu legciwane HIV compared to kubo babe. Ingabe kwenteka kanjani lokho according to research nje lenyendile baba Sithole?
Okay, according to lenye research lebakhona le genetical makeup ye reproductive organ yemuntu wesifazane imenda abe more prone kwekuthi angaba infected of HIV. Then also ngeke sikubalekele lo ukuthi mhlawumbe bantu besilisa mhlawumbe solo basabanako lokuthi letingane tibe dinengi. So in that way ukhanzelwe ukuthi ke bayakhona lokuthi bathelelane nalabanye bantu. And ke nema issues of uptake of EMA services from EMA males or labaduna ukhanza ukuthi aba low. So in so many issues nobe sikhuluma maternal nobe sikhuluma nje ngesibhedlela nobe sikhuluma about other issues, we're still talking more about indzaba ye male involvement. Even when we're taking the study, there were times when we had to come emsakadweni singenge emadoda kuthi siyacela apartake because in most cases ukhanza lokuthi bayala to participate. But for SHIMS 3 we didn't have those issues. For SHIMS 2 bekukhona kakhulu lokuthi bobabe ngathi bobabe nemajaha abafuni lokuba part of lelicwaningo. But ke lesikufundzile ukuthi with SHIMS 3 ngicela bagcine babonile labathuna lo ukuthi nabo lelicwaningo ngelwabo and for the country to win kuthi ngakuthi nabo babe part of lelicwaningo.
Okay, so overall nje baba Sithole nikutfolile ini lemifisa ukutfola as a ministry nje kule report lena kusebenzeke kanjani nje nasibuka mhlambe emuva nanicala nga2011 kuze kufike 2021?
Yes, as a ministry isishayela tandla kusebenzeke kahle kakhulu because lo 2021 2016 and lo 2021 bokhanza ukuthi lamanye alama objectives ayanjinja kulesi sikhathi ukhanza ukuthi 2016 nje besithethe nebantwana who are below lo 15. For this one sithethe laba above 15 kuphela. So there was a reason behind that because labantwana sakhanza ukuthi bancane laba lesabathola in the previous study. So for this one ke sabuka ku the adult population. Otherwise cishe konke kuyakhulumiseka and lama programs la khona under Ministry of Health atawukhona kuthatha lo mbiko athathe le data ngobe sithi sifuna ama interventions abe data driven abe evidence driven ukuthi nyaloke nayi evidence lokubufakazi ukuthi live limephi libukala libhekapi ukuthi ngake now as programs siqinise ngakuphi sithambise ngakuphi so that sikhone kufika kuqala as a country sicabanga ukuthi lelicwaningo likhombe ukuthi kulama targets a 95 sikhonile kufika kuqala kunalamanye mave. As you can see kule program ukuthi thina nyalo siku 94 97 96 we're aiming for 2025 ukuthi 95 but sesikhonile kusaphasa labo 95 labangu2 kusaceka kancane la kulo 95 oqala where we are saying bonke labane HIV laba HIV positive abasati status sawo. So for now sinana 1% lesimtsingawo kakhulu.
Okay, no kuyavakala. So kakhulu baba Sithole nje baba sivetile mbukele ukuthi litiko libambisene netinhlangothi letiningi lofaka khona nayo inhlangano ye-ICAP nasibuye nje kefini sabe sikhulumisana na Deputy Research Director Kusile eNcamphalala.
I'm the Met Groove.
La i-boiled beef ngalapha lemasalad beetroot ayisali bese sekuba nema take away bese kuba khona lo mkhanza sekaphethe 6 wema take away.
Right person's head when they come across a black cat or an owl. A wingman is basically your friend who helps you, like, if you're trying to get with somebody, your friend is gonna help you start a conversation.
I won't lie to you, this guy's cheaters, all of them, all of them.
What do you think the best part of traveling is? Is it the food, or is it the conversation, or is it the sights and sound? If you're ready to explore, we are ready to show you the best way how. We'll give you access to the best luxury getaway sites in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and of course show you vacation sites that suit your budget, because you do not need a lot of money to actually have a great time. Join us on the next adventure on Buhle Bethu, only on Eswatini TV.
Welcome back. So let's yona iShims 3 report liyethulwe lidiko letempilo itolo sicotsa ke ukukhulumisana na research officer Trevor Stole. I'm joined now by Kusile who is the deputy research director ka ICAP. Sifuna kuva ukuthi inzima yini la idlalele yana ICAP nakusendiwa lolu cwaningo sikuvusele Cebe. Thank you so much for joining us. I think umlingano wakho sokuvetile cishe konke mhlambe lokukhona kule report. I think sifuna kuva nje ukuthi ngabe inzima la idlalele yana ICAP kulolu cwaningo kube yini.
Thank you so much. Sivusele babukele emakhaya. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuthola lithuba kuba semsakadweni. Mhlambe kuveta nje kancane ukuthi yebo ICAP ngiletinye tema implementing partners lasebenta kakhulu kusupporta litiko tinhlangotheni tekulwa nayo HIV AIDS Eswatini. Kuningi kakhulu tinhlangothi mhlambe lesithi implementa ku Eswatini sing ICAP. Kufaka ekhathi surveillance activities, kufaka ekhathi activities la ku build capacity within litiko. Nokufaka ekhathi ke kwenda lecwaningo lapho khona sikhonile kusebenta nelitiko ku conduct la 3 previous surveys including le report lokungiyona si implementa lamuhla. ICAP ngisho lokunye Eswatini ukuthi uyingcenye ya eColumbia University global level. Sisebentile kakhulu nelitiko kokucala nje mhlambe lengakusho ku congratulate litiko ngele achievement Eswatini uachieve ema great milestone nawubuka njengoba Trevor bekashido Eswatini lingilamanye emave la very few la attain such a huge progress. Siyalibongela litiko Eswatini ngemsebenzi longaka kanye nesive ngoba kusho kona ukuthi sive kusenda diligence mhlawumbe kwenda siciniseko ukuthi bayakhona ukuthi basati simo bangene bakhone kudla emaphilisi ngendlela lefanele ngaleso sizathu sesibona ke nale decline lesiyibonile even sing ICAP sisebente kakhulu ngetiko ke kuya le emakhaya ushido Trevor ukuthi sihambele emakhaya kuze sikhone ukuthatha tingadi sikhone nekubuta busive emakhaya sikhonile ke kusupporta litiko kusebenta ku provider staffing technical support nema logistics ukuthi sisasebenta sakweleka lo cwaningo saphinza sa provider ne support analyzer but konke lokho ngingasho lokho ukuthi ICAP akakwendi yetwana litiko belhola si provider leyo technical support of course nalamanye tinhlangothi ku government lokufaka ekhathi bo Central Statistics Office lokungibona nabo sisebente kakhulu kuleti tekubala kwenda kusho ukuthi mhlawumbe dibalo tethu futhi siniketa imiphumela lengiyo lesiniketa sithombe Eswatini ikakhulu kakhulu irole ICAP la idlalile.
Okay, I think kuva nje Cebe ukuthi senikwendile nje konke na ikoleka le data mhlambe kulawa makhaya lenowavakashele na ikhokha le report nama findings awo ikambe tikhona intikhala lentibonile mhlambe nisende imsebenzi kuyona noma mhlambe lenifisa ukuthi vele the next Shims report nayo nitivalele tikhala leto.
Thank you so much. In terms of la findings ukuthi ngaba sesekhona ema gaps liciniso lithi yebo Eswatini sende kahle kakhulu litiko investment towards kwenda ukuthi ama programs akhone ku provide ama services phinze nesive sikhone kuthatha lawo ma service buhle kakhulu ngepha singasho ukuthi umbiko uyakhombisa lokho ukuthi sisesenako kudzingeka ukuthi sendele okuthide ukuze sichubeke sihlale kulomgwaco noma kulomgomo ukuthi by 2030 sigcine nathi si-eradicate i-HIV. Utawukhumbula msakade ukuthi one of imigomo lekhona ya-UNAIDS ukuthi by 2030 emave abe sekude infection. Yes, so thina we are towards that road. Ushito Trevor wathi yes semgomeni sihamba kahle. But i-report yethu iyaveta ukuthi solo kukhona ama-pockets lekudingeka mhlambe siwabukisise silive. Lokunye kwako ukuthi siyabona ukuthi le viral load suppression inako kungabi optimum kubobabe. Ikakhulukati bobabe nasibabuka laba around labo 25 to 34 years. Yona noma bayidlala amaphilisi but le viral load suppression ayisiko optimum. Nangithi optimum ngisho ukuthi ibe sesigabeni lapho khona utholeke ukuthi akakhona lokutransmitter leligciwane naye akhona kuvikeleka nasetifeni lesitibida ukuthi ma-opportunistic infection nako konke lokho. So kusakudingeka nalapho sakhe imlayeto siphinde sensitize bobabe ukuthi bayadingeka ukuthi badle i-treatment ngendlela lefanele. Siyabona futhi naloko ukuthi bomake solo le disease burden inako ukuthi inkulu ngakibo ukushidwa naloko umlingani Trevor nakhona kunetinto lenhlangothi lesidinga sitibuke deliver leni yini lokuwenda ukuthi mhlambe sibone bomake le infection inkulu kibo compared kubobaba. Ngicabanga ukuthi kukhona mhlambe litiko already lesisebenza nje beAshido Trevor but siyadzinga sesike sihlale phansi sibe nenzaba to understand ukuthi Eswatini ngabe yini lesingakusebenzisa singathi multi pronged responses kungabi nje only maybe hlangothi lunye but also sesikhulume community level kwendakalani yini mhlambe lesingakuqinisa tinhlangothi kulapho ukuze kwendasho ukuthi bomake nabo bakhona ukudivekela bomake bakhona ukuthi sibone mhlambe econgweni lelitako nabo bakulabanye i-disease burden leseyehlile kibo. Manje ngingasho ukuthi overall le way live le performa ngayo kunemthelela sicabanga ukuthi itabamehle kakhulu nasenhlangweni lethini letinye kufaka ekhathi bo EMTCT which is the elimination of mother to child transmission of HIV bo TB ngoba umumva adla kahle emaphilisi kusho ukuthi emathuba ama-opportunity infection ayehla namake nemathuba kudlulisela igciwane emfaneni ayehla as well.
Okay. No, ngiyavakala sithemba ukuthi le totikhala titawvalwa especially lena yabo make hayi ayisinza wethu mnanzo ukuthi bomake ngibona ukhanze ukuthi sebalithola kakhulu sithemba nje ukuthi litawuchubeka lisebenze ngalokukhulu ukuthi ikhandla kuzama ukunciphisa donati nombolo temanyu infections mbukeli sawuhlahle market thina sibuya siva la hlelo.
I'm the Met Groove.
La i-ball beef nalapha nemasalad beetroot ayisali bese sekuba nema take away bese kuba khona lo mkhanzo sekaphethe 6 wema take away.
Right person's head when they come across a black cat or an owl.
A wingman is basically your friend who helps you, like, if you're trying to get with somebody, your friend is gonna help you start a conversation.
I won't lie to you, this guy's cheaters, all of them.
All right, it's 3 minutes before 8 o'clock. Sasifika maphethelweni ehlelo lamhla. Thank you for joining us. Anzike mawusanza kusivulela usangakhona ukulibukela ungakhathateki ekhasini lethu la ka YouTube Eswatini TV. I think there were quite interesting topics that we discussed today. Mngoni sibodwa nje tindzaba tetempilo report nje legokelitiko tempilo yaveta lokuthi at least ma-new infections dinombolo dikhomba ukuthi tehle nga 1 1% nasibuka yonke nje leminyaka solo laqala kwendiwa lolu cwaningo lwe-SHIMS report.
Yeah, but yeah, 4,000 new infections annually is a big number. You know, we can celebrate that, but also we need to look at ourselves internally and maybe try to do better in the next year. I believe it's at least at 2,000.
Yeah, as I said, Trevor, good to say from 2011 because my cases big bang 6,000 a year.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but that's 2011. For me, from now, 4,000, 2,000. We just need to remember again, HIV yes, you can get the medication that you need and a long life like but we really need to go back to the times when we were scared, and perhaps lapho we can really see these numbers dropping drastically. I mean 1% is but really I think Betempilo are doing enough. It's on us now.
All right, thank you for joining us and bona kusasa nsele kahle.
Asenifisele babukeli namhlanje na ehlelweni hlelo Young Climber. Namhlanje nambukeli sijake kakhulu kunenzaba lesishisako lesifuna ukuthi uyive khona utawukhuthateka. Namhlanje nasafuna gijima sibhekele eshiselweni kunendvodza lapho lesitayithola babe Jan wakasibanze. Kuninga ngifuna lokuthi nje ngize ngikuqoqele but nje uyabona uma sithi wena ungakhona ku-achieve noma ngayini ngunayindzaba nayi lesiyiphethe namhlanje na. Hlaya nathi ke mbukeli kwanyalo sisathi nkwe la enhlangano siyawubona babe Jan wakasibanze.